both of you guys recently losing friends as well. I know you mentioned David Lynch, and you were about to work with him. What was that like about?
No, that's to reframe it. I wasn't about to work with him. There was a fantasy of that. And as there has been from day one, how many more times can I be in the presence of working and just spending time with David Lynch? But it was a great loss and deeply sad about it.
Yeah, incredible.
And a mentor and a great friend.
Yeah, no, and I just want to quickly touch on as well with Gene Hackman, who's been some of the greatest American movies. How do you see his legacy and what he's contributed to cinema?
Well, when you talk about Gene, you talk about one of the best guys and a guy that all actors would look at and go, that's how you do that. That's how you do that. He was almost like reading an instruction manual of like, this is how it's done. When you look at his work and look at what he's doing, every next moment is going to be accurate. It's going to be real, and it's going to be like, God damn, I wish I could have done that one. Okay, I hope I can do it like that. I hope I can be that tuned to what the emotional movement is, the direction of the energy is, that I can do that. So he was great. When you lose these great ones, Michael Gambon was another one that I worked with in Wes Anderson movie. One of the greatest actors and an extraordinary person that just being with him on the set, you felt like, okay, this is how you behave in life. This is how you sort of keep yourself close to yourself so that when you have to perform now, your machine's going to be right there, ready to go. These are people that are very instructive and, that you can't, and I do have regrets about certain ones that I worked with that, I wish I'd pressed them more and asked more questions instead of just trying to like get along with them and make them laugh or something. I wish I'd been a little bit more of a student, a little more of an intentional student than an accidental one like I have been.
Yeah, and that's kind of the theme of this movie. It ties back. I would imagine that everyone's watching there's not going to be a dry tear or a dry eye in sight. It's very heartfelt, and so I just wanted to know from your perspective, Naomi, I'll start with you because you spend the most time with this beloved dog. What was that experience like for you, and how emotional did it get sometimes?
Yeah, I connected with him pretty much straight away. Highly trained dog, and there were lots of people there to support him, and but I was concerned because of his size and his strength. And, being out on the streets in New York where things are unpredictable and people just want to run towards him and, they get...
Not away?
Well, no, actually, he's so good looking. He's so, extraordinary. It's like he's holding on to a rock star, like Mick Jagger and with something. It's like, oh my God, I've got to connect with that beast, that magical beast. So yeah, it was interesting. And then, also if there was another dog to come in his eyesight, that the dog might bark at him, which might spook him. And, it was always trying to navigate. But I connected to him very, very easily, and he's got a great personality.
Iris, I need to talk with you. It's about the dog. I wanted to ask if you could take him.
No, I can't.
He can't stay. Management company, they are very strict.
Not a problem. I'm working on it. Just a few days.
Bad dog!
That's just great.
Oh, I love that. And I heard your dog also connected with him as well.
Yeah, my dog was around now and again and lifted his spirits when he was feeling a bit tired or he had a tummy ache or,
Yeah. It is so adorable. And Bill, you're a huge dog person yourself. Do you just gravitate towards him?
Well, I like dogs. This is not an ordinary dog. This is a spectacular dog. This is like, a sculpture of David. This is a big thing. And it's a very powerful being. It's not just large. He is very, very much, he's incredibly alert. His performance, you have to call it that, in the movie is perfect. His reaction, I mean, I couldn't believe the responses that the dog had to the emotional scenes, that the dog's reaction was perfect. You couldn't, I mean, I don't know if you could get an actor to be that consistent, to get it right every time, because he always heard it, felt it.
He's in mourning. He lost his master. How would you feel? If Walter were here, what would you like to say to him?
I want to tell him that no matter how much I sleep, I'm exhausted. That I feel as though I'm losing control.
Move the dog!
I'll sit here too.
I mean,
So,
the first thing that comes to mind is when they say, like, don't work with kids or dogs,
Right.
but I feel like this was a very well-trained
Yeah.
dog.
No, on the page, there were times where I go, oh, there's no way
Yeah.
I get that. But then not only did he deliver, he would give something on top of that.
I love that. So you two were already friends before you started filming. Was that easier? Did you guys just connect right away?
sure, yeah, I took the job because she called up, and I figured if she called, it was probably going to be good, and she figured I knew I would be good enough to do what she wanted done for her in this case. So it was easy to say yes. The script is really great. The directors wrote a great script that came from this Sigrid Nunez book, and the cameraman, the DP, was perfect. I mean, he just told an incredible story in pictures. So coming to work with her was fun because I knew I could dominate her physically, and that I could keep her, laughing. We got to cheer her up. This one, we got to cheer her up. So she's just a really sad little one. So we have to cheer her up all the time.
No, there was a good shorthand that because of having worked together before and fooled around, on
We
that
didn't
set.
fool around.
No, I didn't mean that. The minute
I
I
was
said that,
waiting
I was
for
like,
him to
I
pick up
just
on that.
We didn't do my
left you
fooling
wide
around
open.
anyway. We may have done yours, but not mine.
So yeah, there was, we had a banter, we had a trust, and it was easy.
He's there at the top of the hill, between the two bridges, silhouetted against the limpid sky.
You're making this
You
up.
could have a point, but the fact
Thank
is the
you.
dog magically appeared.
You take us for a ride. I mean, just the story in itself with the Great Dane and the small apartment and the apartment that doesn't allow a dog, but also this friendship that's at the core of it and serious subject matters as well. How did you guys feel like when you read the script and navigated all of that?
Well, it's an interesting friendship because there's a mentorship and there's a creative professional thing that's going on. At the same time, there's a personal relationship which happens and then is denied and then unresolved, and then when life ends, certainly there's a lot of unanswered questions. So trying to figure out what it all really meant, what it all really meant in life when it's too late to live it any longer. That's a hard one, and people get that in our lives. We get it where you go, like, God, I wish I'd gotten that done with that person. I wish I hadn't ended it that way. I wish I'd gotten to speak one more time.
And instead, she's lumbered with this gigantically oversized creature dominating her life and, upturning everything. And so she's having to deal with her grief while managing this creature and possibly losing her life in terms of, her apartment. And so it's quite an unlikely story of how to move through grief.
You okay, bud? I could feel him missing Walter in the same way I did.
The dog provides essential emotional support.
I guess I saw it the other way around, like I'm the emotional support human and it's the dog that can't cope. What?
Lastly, just end on a lighter note, UConn. Tell me what it feels like. Is the energy just being in that stadium?
It's a lot of fun to cheer the basketball team, the UConn basketball team on. We laugh a lot because it's life or death, and yet it's not. But it's the intention to win is really, and not at all costs, but to win. Like the desire to win means you have to perform at a very, very, very high level for a long period of time. And it's a team. It's not unlike movies where we're all in it together. The entire crew's in it together. Anybody screws up, we all screw up.
Yeah.
One screws up, we all screw up. So it's a team game. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's going to make mistakes, but there's this sort of cohesiveness, this attention to what the intention is, and if you can keep that aim going, you know, and you're able to physically perform some things, they can be magical, you know. And when they've won the championship twice. They're not going to win it 3 times in a row, but it certainly was beautiful to watch. It's beautiful when it works. It's really beautiful when it works, and you know, you just got to teach the little children not to cry at the end of it. You can't teach them, but if I'm not crying, there's a chance that someday, you know, they might not cry.